Horace Mann is the father of education, and he had an idea that students learn the same things in classrooms, which would be standardization, and they have written exams that test what they were doing, which would be considered standardized tests, but these were technically not standardized tests yet because those came later. The first standardized tests measured ability rather than achievement, and they were a way of sorting. They promised a way to identify kids who might go on to do great things while avoiding wasting resources on slower children. The No Child Left Behind Act of 2002 said that standardized tests had to occur in ELA and math between the 3rd and 8th grade, and in 2008, science was added to that list. Standardized tests have a huge impact on segregation, but different types of segregation in the schools can be both beneficial and harmful. I am here to provide information to base your decision on so we, as a people, can make the school system a better place. First, standardization promotes segregation. The higher class has better opportunities and more money to get tutors, extra classes, and they can study more. They have a better family life, they have more parent support than the minority kids or the lower class. And standardized tests challenge entrenched class privileges that give the rich an advantage in accessing higher education. Jay Rosner, an admissions test expert, says, each individual SAT question that test makers choose is required to parallel outcomes of the test overall. So if high-scoring test takers, who are more likely to be white, tend to answer the question correctly in experimental pre-testing, it is a worthy SAT question. If not, it's thrown out. Race and ethnicity are not considered explicitly, but racially disparate scores drive question selection, which in turn reproduces racially disparate test results and an internally reinforcing cycle. Jay Rosner is saying that the test experts are not considering race and culture explicitly, but because of the way the test question selection goes, they are just thrown into the mix and it's an ongoing cycle. There are different types of segregation in schools: achievement segregation and single-gender classrooms. The achievement segregation is the CP, honors, and AP classes, and the single-gender classrooms are based on sex, so whether you're male or female. Achievement segregation can also be separated by race, which, if intentional, is illegal. Next, there is tracking. Tracking is separation based on achievement, but it's the grouping of children into different tracks of school. So they're going to lead to different career paths. They're also going to be in the CP and honors and AP classes, but it's going to lead them to paths to go to a trade school, a 2-year school, a 4-year school, or utilize the career center at their high school or middle school. Subconsciously, this separates by race and culture as well, because minorities tend to learn less than majorities because of, again, the socioeconomic status, the family life, and just the way that behavior works. There's also segregation by gender. This tends to be better. There's better listening and better participation. There's less students trying to impress each other, which leads to more learning. And girls are going to be less focused on looks and smartness in class, and boys, it's going to be the same thing. In a recent study done, the staff identified increased confidence and higher self-esteem among girls, and increased motivation and commitment to schoolwork among boys. This is a very controversial issue, and there is no solution, but I encourage you, as students, to better your own education and place yourself in good classes and peer groups. This allows you to take control of your education and handle how you and where you are going in life. Although there is no solution, students can take control of their education and make it as wholesome and beneficial as they can. Essentially, the education students receive is up to them and how they carry themselves through their 12+ years of schooling.